today we're going to be talking about translating from English into math. You already know that you can translate Spanish into English or English into German, but sometimes it's important to communicate with mathematic symbols. You know some of these symbols already. This is the symbol for addition. This is the symbol for subtraction. Multiplication has several symbols you can use. From early on, you probably saw this little X kind. You may or may not have seen multiplication as a dot. On your computer, you'll see multiplication as this little star. Multiplication is sometimes done with parentheses next to each other. Or if we're using variables, those are these letters here, you can always put the number right next to the variable, and that means multiply them together. For division, this is a very common symbol, the line with the dot above or below. We can also write a division problem as a number with a line over another number, and this says 8 divided by 4. This is the one on the computer you'll use this little slash to mean division. So we're going to look at some English phrases and translate them into mathematical language, mathematical symbols. And what I want you to do is go get 4 highlighters right now, 4 different colors, because we are going to highlight the words that mean addition. We're going to highlight the words that mean subtraction. We're going to highlight the words that mean multiplication. And we're going to highlight the words that mean division. Okay, if you've paused the video and got those, then we're going to start highlighting. I'd like you to pause the video and try to highlight them on your own. And then you can either fast forward to the end and check to see how well you did, or if you're feeling a little less confident, you can watch me go through each one. So here we go. 7 more than a number. More than is addition. The difference of n and 2. Difference means subtraction. The product of 7 and n. Product means multiplication. The quotient of 3 and a number. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. 2 times a number. Times is multiplication. A number plus 5. Plus is addition. 7 less than a number. Less than is subtraction. 13 multiplied by a number. Multiplied by is multiplication. 10 more than a number. More than is addition. 12 minus n. Minus is subtraction. Twice a number. That is multiplication. Oops, that's blue. All right, a number divided by 5. Divided by is division. Half of a number. Half is division. 6 added to a number. Added to is addition. 12 subtracted from a number. Subtracted from is subtraction. The sum of 10 and a number. Sum is addition. All right, how well did you do? Okay, now I'd like you to grab your pen or pencil, and we're actually going to translate these into some symbols now. 7 more than a number. I want you to circle the than. Than is a very important word that's going to change the meaning of these mathematical phrases. So than means we're going to work backwards, which means we also are going to just like tack it on to the end. So let's look at this. 7 more than a number. Well, a number, that's not specific. When we don't really know what the number is, we have to use a variable. That's any letter that we can choose. typically we're going to use the letter N because N is the first letter in the word number. So what I'm going to do here is write out N for number, and then more than is addition. This means plus whatever was back that way, 7. So this is N plus 7. Next, we're going to do the difference of N and 2. Well, difference is a subtraction problem, and this is not one of those than words, so we're going to do it in order. So this will be N minus 2. The next one, the product of 7 and N. Product is a multiplication. Remember, there are lots of ways we can write this, but we're going to write it with them next to each other. So 7 times N, we can just write 7N. The next one, the quotient of 3 and a number. Quotient is for a division problem. And for this one, I'm going to choose to write one number over the other. So this one is 3 and the letter N. So I'm going to write 3 over top of the letter N. So that's 3 divided by N. The next one, 2 times a number. So this is 2 times a number. Again, if it's a letter and a number, I can just stick them right next to each other, and that means times. A number plus 5, so that's N plus 5. 7 less than a number. Okay, there's that tricky word again, than. Remember, that means we're going to have to move backwards. So what we're going to do is put the number first, so put N first. Less than is subtraction, 7. So this is N minus 7. Remember to do those backwards. Those are kind of tricky. All right, 13 multiplied by a number. So this is 13. If I'm multiplying by a number that I don't know, I'll just put the letter N after it. Remember, those mean multiply. Okay, 10 more than a number. So this is 10. Oh wait, that's the tricky than. So I need to work backwards. So the N goes first. N plus 10 is what that's going to say. Okay, 12 minus N. So this is just 12, the minus symbol, N. Twice a number. Twice is a tricky word that means always multiply by 2. So whatever I am going to do next, I'm going to multiply by 2. So twice a number will be 2 times N. A number divided by 5. So this is N divided by 5. Okay, so I want to put the N on the top and the 5 on the bottom. All right. Next one, half of a number. Half is kind of like twice, except instead of multiplying by 2, it always means that we're dividing by 2. A third would mean we would be dividing by 3. A fourth would mean we'd be dividing by 4, and so on. So for this one, we're going to do half of a number, so this is N divided by 2. Next, 6 added to a number. Added to a number, we could just do 6 plus a number. It's fine if you want to turn this one around too, if you wanted to do a number plus 6. Added to is one of those ones that can go either way. 12 subtracted from. Subtracted from is also tricky. You should also circle that one. It has to move backwards. So if I say 12 subtracted from a number, this means N minus 12, not 12 minus N, but N minus 12. Okay, the next one, the sum of 10 and a number. So that means addition, so 10 plus a number. All right, how did you do? Hopefully you're doing well on these. We're going to have some challenge problems here. So putting a couple of these together. 15 plus the quotient of 60 and a number. Pause the video and see if you can do this one on your own. All right, 15 plus the quotient of 60 and a number. Remember, quotient is the answer to a division problem. So in this case, I want to put 60 on the top and my random number n, my variable, on the bottom. All right, next one, 6.7 less than 5 times a number. All right, see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so I have 5 times a number and I have a less than here. Remember, less than means I'm working backwards. So whatever I do after these words less than, I'm going to put a minus 6.7 at the very end. So I'm actually just going to like cover them up and pretend they're not there for a little while. And then I do 5 times a number. So that means 5n. Okay, now I do my less than. All right, 6.7, so minus 6.7. So yeah, that one's a little tricky. Okay, the last thing we're going to do today is learn how to write an equation from a situation. So this says, write an equation to model the situation. The total length of rope in feet used to put up tents is 60 times the number of tents. All right, so in this one, I have a couple variables, which means I can't use that same letter N. I'm going to have to choose 2 different letters to represent things. I'm going to say the total length I'm going to represent the total length with the letter L, because L kind of stands for length. It's the first letter in length. And then the number of tents, I'm going to represent that one with an N for number. All right? And now I'm going to write my equation. And it's going to look like this. I need to have the number of tents times 60. So this is 60n, the number of tents times 60, or 60 times the number of tents. And it says that my total length is that. So my L is equal to 60 times the number of tents. So this is kind of a good equation because it's going to tell us exactly how much rope I need if I have 60, or if I have whatever number of tents. I can put in any number for n and figure out how much rope I'm going to need. So that could be useful in real life. Okay, I want you guys to get to the homework and finish up your quiz after your homework. Good luck.